from Florida. Wind's starting to pick up, but what a beautiful day. And I wanted to share a story. I hope you guys can hear it because they're roofing on the other side of the house, so I came over to this side. Oh, isn't this beautiful? These flowers behind me, and the palms. So I wanted to share with you a miracle of Daren, my baby boy. And he's starting to get mad, don't want us to call him Baby Daren. And I can understand, but I'm still his mom. I'm going to call him Baby Daren when I want to. So, only one of my babies was playing. And Baby Daren was kind of a big surprise. We thought we were done. But he was and a beautiful baby, and he is a blessing to us. But at the time that we found out I was going to have him, we were happy, shocked, a little bit surprised, but we went on. Because I had a little baby already. I had little Jeremy. It was only 1.5 when I found out I was pregnant. It was 2 when he was born. Around there, only 2 years apart. So you see the shock I had, 2 in diapers. But my boys are a blessing. All my children are. But at the same time, we were having a pretty hard time. Where we were living at, over off of Foltz and Mars Hill, off of one of Robert's friends, he decided to sell the place and make money. Therefore, we had to get out. So, just happened that's when we got our big, beautiful house. And during that time, I found out I was pregnant. So, having another baby, it was a move when I was great and pregnant, and that was hard. But it was something that I managed. But at that time, while I was carrying Daren, my mom came to me. And she was sickly, and she started seeing the doctor and things, and we knew that something was going on. And the doctor called us in, and she said, "Bring your daughter." I'm her only child. She never married, so it's just me and Mama for a long time. Just me and Mama. And as we sat there in the doctor's office, and we got the news. She had inoperable lung cancer, stage 4. It was hard to hear. And she looked over at me and said, "Well, this is my daughter. I'll just get one of her lungs." At that time, I was showing. I don't remember how far along I was, but I was showing. The doctor noticed that I had the round belly, and she said, "No, honey, we're not gonna do any kind of transplant. We're gonna maybe try just a few treatments to give you a longer life, but we're not gonna do any transplant." And she was mad at me about that because I guess being her daughter, she was thinking I had the good organs for her, and if I could have in a different state and in a different state of mind, different physically body, I would have done it in a heartbeat. So the option was out the door. So at that time, we were going through a lot of stressful things. And at that time, my marriage began to be rocky because he didn't like the fact that I was putting on weight. And I was spending a lot of time with my mom. And you know how men are. They're just selfish. Sometimes they're just selfish. And I had one of those that wanted dinner on the table, house cleaned, and everything to just be hunky-dory, right? When life wasn't hunky-dory at that time. So that was what was going on. So I started having pains in my 26th week. Went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "We're going to go ahead and check you." I was dilating. They were afraid I was going to go ahead and deliver, and at 26 weeks, it wouldn't have been a good sight. It wouldn't have been the ordeal, the plan for any baby. even though I do have one that's a 25-weeker, little Liam is our miracle baby. But the doctor warned me of the dangers, and he said, you have to relax. You have to be a non-stress. You have to do this for yourself and for this baby. And my blood pressure started dropping, and he goes, you're in danger too. We could lose both of you. So that baby became a prayer. The baby, I prayed every day. Even before I was a Christian, when I found out, but once they told me he was in danger, I prayed especially hard for that baby. I wanted to see that baby. I wanted to hold that baby. I wanted that baby to be all right, like every mother does. And the miracle happened because he was born all right. Months and months of bed rest. Months of living in stress, trying to take care of my mom. When you're on bed rest, you can't do a lot. I could go to a doctor's appointment. I could sit in the car. I could drive every now and again. But it got to be where I couldn't take her to her radiation appointments, and I couldn't take her out to eat, and I couldn't do the things I needed to do with her. But I'm so glad that my sister-in-law Marie stepped up, and she started helping me with my mom. And my mom started having more and more problems, of course. And she ended up in a nursing home because I couldn't take care of her. I was on bed rest myself. And Marie worked at that nursing home. And we managed to get her in that nursing home because my stepmom, Terry. This is what happens when you're in Florida. Alright. So my stepmom, Terry, got her in where she worked. She worked there, Marie worked there, and my mom got to be in a really nice nursing home, really nice, and Marie got to take care of her, and that made me feel better. And it come to October of that year, and I was still carrying Daren. He wasn't born until December. He wasn't supposed to be born until almost February. But so Marie decided to Christmas shop early, and she had bought everybody sweaters, and she put our names on them, and she wanted to have Christmas presents. And she worked at Country Club too. She had connections there before she went to the nursing home. She had connections at Country Club because she used to work there too. So she decided we're going to have Christmas in October, and she had told my mom that. And my mom was coming off of chemo, and chemo you're sick all the time, and you don't have an appetite. But she was coming off of that because she was at the end stages, and she got her appetite back. So Marie was saying, we're going to have finger foods, and I'm going to get you out of the nursing home, and we're going to have a big Christmas party with Trina and the kids and all my family, and we're going to have a good time. And she said, my mom started telling Marie, and we're going to have ham, and we're going to have turkey, and we're going to have mashed potatoes, and green beans, and yams, and stuffing, and rolls. And Marie wasn't prepared for all that. But that year we had a really good Christmas. That October, we had Christmas in October. And I managed to stay out of the hospital, because I was going right back and forth to the hospital myself. Every time I'd have contractions, I got dilating. I got all the way to 4, and it could have went either way. So they would give me they'd give me some things to stop it, some kind of pill, some kind of shot, and they would stop this labor. So it was October, and we had to have a good Christmas, and we had pictures, and she made Mom a sweater, and it was just it was a sweatshirt, and we all just had a good Christmas. And it's a precious memory. It's a really precious memory. I got to have Christmas in October with my mom because she didn't make it to Christmas. But my baby and me held on. Now, I got so bad where if I stood up, I had contractions. So I had to crawl on my hands and knees to the restroom. I had to lay in a recliner in the kitchen, like a lawn chair recliner in the kitchen, and teach my 10-year-old daughter how to cook step by step by step. And Christina was really good, patient, nothing stressed her out. She managed. We had different meals that was easy, but we still was able to stay at home and manage. And of course, Sandy and Marie and different ones come over and help me with the kids and the housekeeping and all that stuff. But I was thinking about all those months laying on bed rest. And it was 3 months of bed rest. Weeks and weeks and weeks laying there. And I didn't own it, no Netflix, no TV, no laptop, just me and books and magazines and a little 2-year-old that would jump on my back and ride me like a horse when I had to go to the restroom or when I was on the way to the kitchen. And I had a big old house. I had a 24 square foot house, and to crawl from one room to the next was a lot. And he would get on my back and ride me like a horse and say, "Giddy up," and I had to try to get him off. And so I went through a lot during that pregnancy. I went through a lot. But there was a day where I couldn't do it no more, and I went to the hospital, went to the doctor, and they sent me to the hospital, and they were like, "It's either you or the baby. We're going to try to save you both, but you need to go and let us take care of you now. We can't stop this pregnancy any longer." I said, "Okay." So we were about 4 weeks away from the due date, and so it was a hard delivery. It was a hard, because me being dilated so much, he was kind of a big baby. Still, 4 weeks early, he was 7 pounds, 3 ounces at 4 weeks early. I was able to push him out, but when he was born, he was blue. He had no breath. Everything about him was blue. And I had a good doctor. I had a really good doctor. And I had a great physician standing by. Praise God, I had a great physician standing by. And I took to praying, and I think everybody in that room was praying. And then he took that baby and he lifted him up by the feet, and he paddled his little butt, and he flipped his feet, and he kept saying, "Come on, baby, breathe. Come on, baby, breathe." And they'd suction him, and they'd lay him down, and they'd pick him up. They would shake him. They did a lot of things, and they started doing a lot of things, trying to give him oxygen, trying to do things. And he was like that for a few minutes. And I just screamed out, "Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, my baby." And he finally took that first breath, and the whole room just kind of got really happy. Really happy. So, yes, Daren is my blue baby. And I'll say that a lot of times, getting hit by sprinklers. So Daren's my blue baby, but he's also my miracle baby, too. Because there for a minute, he was stillborn. There for 2 minutes, he was stillborn. But then God breathed life back into him. And the doctor was skilled. Didn't give up on him. And at the plan, the doctor had told me, they said, your blood pressure is a problem. Your health's a problem. We took this out of your hands. You're getting your tubes tied today. And they took that little baby out of my arms and rushed him right to the NICU. And I already knew what that meant, because I'd been down that road, and I'll tell you that other miracle story one day, that one is a miracle story too. I already knew what that meant. Have a baby in the NICU is hard. And then me getting ready to go off into surgery was hard. I said, "No, I'm not going." He said, "Let me tell you, it's out of your hands, but I'm going to give you something that'll keep you conscious, and you'll be able to have a nurse that runs back to the NICU and back to you during surgery. And your husband's going to go to the NICU, and he'll be with the baby." I said, "Okay." What could I do? I was on my back. I couldn't fight it. So I was in there. They kept saying, he's struggling to breathe. He's struggling to breathe. We're working on him. We're working on him. The whole time they were operating on me, I didn't care about me anymore. I wanted that baby to make it. I wanted my baby to make it. So they got my surgery done, and they got me back to the room, and still no Daren. Now, we decided to name him Daren after my mother. My mother's name is Karen Sue Massey. So we named him Daren, D-A-R-E-N. So we just dropped the K and added a D. And we named him Daren Jordan because Jordan is a representation of heaven in the Bible. They crossed over Jordan. And I knew my mom would be crossing soon. I didn't know how soon. So I got that baby back within about, I don't know, a few hours. It was a long few hours. I think he was in there at least 9 hours after birth. I got him back. No, it had to be longer than that. I got him back. I just had put him in my arms. I was just bonding with my baby when the telephone rang. And I noticed Robert went over and answered the phone. And I knew it wasn't good news. But I just paid attention to that little baby. And I just talked to him and loved on him. And the news came in that my mom wasn't going to make it throughout the night. So Robert came and told me that news. And I was just still, because a miracle had just happened. Had my baby back, no oxygen, no problems. He just pinking back up and started functioning on his own. I mean, they had to help him. They helped him, gave him up, put him on the, I guess, something. They helped him. And the great physician helped him. But I left that hospital, and they said, you can't take Daren. I said, I left one baby. I'm not going to leave another baby. He's coming with me, and I'll have somebody take care of him. But I'm going to see my mama. And they said, what? I said, yeah, my mom is not going to make it through the night. I'm going to go see her. They said, you just had a baby and you had surgery 17 hours ago. I said, it don't matter. I'm out of here. I started packing my bags. I started in that shower. I about passed out. So that nurse went in the shower, sat there and helped me get myself dressed, get myself ready. I packed my baby up. After 19 hours of delivering a baby, I walked out of the hospital. I dropped that baby off to Sandy and Marie, and seen my other babies and kissed and loved on them. And I went and spent some time with my mama. So the miracle of Daren is that he didn't stay in that NICU, that he didn't stay blue, that he somehow got the breath of life breathed back into him. And my mom held on, and she says, the baby all right? And I said, he's born, he's fine. I took some pictures. They let me take some Polaroids. My baby couldn't go in. The nurse, she wanted to see him, but the baby couldn't go because he was so new. You have to be so many hours to be in that kind of environment. So she got to see the pictures, and she smiled, and she talked to me, and we had some good conversations. Them 3 hours. Then she just said, okay. And we said our goodbyes, and I knew that was my last time I'd see my mom on this side of the earth. But I'm thankful that she's up there helping me because every time something goes on in my life, I think I want to make my mom proud. I want to be the mother and make my mom proud. I want to be the grandmother and make my mom proud. So she's even helping me even when she's up there. And I appreciate the miracle of Daren. This is your miracle, Daren. For those few minutes when you were still, for those few minutes when you were blue, I believe the angels, I believe that room was just saturated with the presence of God. And when he heard a mother's call, when he heard that prayer, I'm so thankful that he breathed the breath of life into you. Now live your life to make your mom proud. You hear me? Live your life to make me proud. Even when I'm not here, I want you to always think, will I make my mom proud? Will I make my grandma Sandy proud? And if you ever do that, you're going to be a fine young man, a fine man. And I appreciate how the Lord is going to help all of my family. So it's the miracle of Daren, my blue baby. Bye.